Hey, what's going on, everybody? Static here. Welcome back to another episode of Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Last episode, we got this glorious looking fit. Huge defense upgrade, huge appearance upgrade. That's really what I'm most concerned with, really. And that should be, if I'm right, the last armor we're going to make for low rank. And we already have the last weapon we're going to make. You know, let's just take a look at some weapons, just for the hell of it. Maybe we'll see something that sticks out, but I'm not planning on it. There's a couple of new ones we can make right off the bat, it looks like. We actually can make the Glavenus one. That actually might not be a bad idea, to be fair. But I don't exactly want to farm for more Pirate Shell right now. I think I remember using this in my main profile. I'm pretty sure an upgraded version of this is what I used when I first started really figuring out Valor Longsword and trying to hone in and practice it. Like at the very start of my training arc journey that I really feel like I'm still on, this was the first weapon I used for that. So I'm sure it's good enough to use, but I'm not going to do that right now. I don't want to farm Glavenus right now. Later on in the series, if we decide to make that, we'll go ahead and go down that huge line. And by then we'll have stronger equipment, so it probably won't even be that hard of a grind at all. But for now, we'll just stick with what we got. Alright, anyway. This episode, we're going to fight some more guys. I don't exactly know what is a key and what isn't, but we do have some options here. So, let's go ahead and let's fight Gormagala. Actually, before I fight Gormagala, I need to do this. I've done this every star, so I might as well do it for this one, where I talk about these monsters before we fight them, to get you guys ready. So who do we have here? Gormagala, Zinogre, Tigrex, Seregios, and Brachydios. And I guess Kieran, but we're not going to fight Kieran. I know Kieran is not a key. So out of these monsters here, every single one of these I love. There is not a single one of these that I dislike. The guys that are later in the game, like them, I almost entirely thoroughly enjoy. So all of these guys here are going to be really fun for me to fight, hopefully really fun for you to watch. None of them I know like I know Glavenus, so it won't be as easy of a fight, and it won't be as clean of a run. But because I like them, I have fought them more than once at least. I know how to fight them. Hopefully it won't be horrible. So let's fight Gormagala first. Gormagala I thoroughly enjoy. He's super cool, super unique. He also, like Mizutsune, has an effect to him that no other monster has. Technically, Shagurumagala has it as well, but biologically, he and Gormagala are exactly the same. Gormagala is just a juvenile version of Shagurumagala. So, at the end of the day, it's just one monster. One monster has this ability, and that ability is called Frenzy. It's super cool. I don't really care about it too much. If I get affected by Frenzy, I don't really care. But it's still super cool, and it's just unique to him, which is always cool. There he is. Very sleek, very nice. My favorite color is black, so this guy, I like his design a lot. I like how he's just kind of sleek, smooth, jet black. And when he enters his frenzy mode later in this fight, I think that is a super cool design. It makes the sky go dark all around him as well, which I think is awesome. Alright, it looks like immediately we're affected with Frenzy. What Frenzy does is, you'll notice underneath our name on the left there's a huge bar that's slowly filling up. That is the Frenzy meter. If that gets all the way full, the Frenzy light will kick in. And what that basically does is that it keeps the red part of our health bar from regenning naturally. In normal cases, if you take damage, part of your health bar will become red, and the red pieces will regen over time automatically, even without using resources. And that's what I'm talking about, because if you let Frenzy kick in, that red will no longer regen on its own, and you'll be at kind of a disadvantage. So to recap, because I don't know if what I just said was clear enough, since I'm in the middle of fighting at the same time, so I can't focus on explaining. If you get afflicted by Frenzy, that red part of my health bar at the top when I take damage, which normally would regen slowly over time, will not regen at all. That's what happens if Frenzy kicks in. However, on the flip side, if you get affected by Frenzy but it hasn't activated yet, as in the bar hasn't filled up yet, you have the opportunity to be aggressive. And if you hit a monster enough before the Frenzy bar fills up, you will actually lose the Frenzy bar entirely. You'll avoid the negative effect, and you'll actually gain a positive effect. You will, I believe how it works is that you'll get a affinity increase, affinity basically being critical chance. So you'll not only avoid the negative effect of the Frenzy, but you'll gain a positive critical chance boost to help you do more damage. In fact, you'll notice while I was explaining that, we actually got that. We avoided the Frenzy and we got that affinity boost, and it just recently ran out, and now I'm affected by Frenzy again. Now I'm not, because I just got the affinity boost again. Okay, cool. So far we're doing pretty well. We've been affected by Frenzy twice and avoided it twice. I'm also parrying him more times than I think I normally would in most cases. So overall this fight is going pretty good. I'm surprised I'm handling him so well while I'm focusing on explaining how Frenzy works. I hope the explanation was clear. I'm dividing my mindset, so it might be rough. And here's this Frenzy mode. This is what I alluded to a little bit earlier. Isn't this cool? Isn't this badass? Look at this shit. The sky goes dark, he starts glowing, and the feelers come out of his head. They're officially called. I don't know why they're called that. I guess, well, he's blind, so I guess he quite literally feels with them, I suppose. That makes sense. And we broke those feelers, and that counted as the subquest. That's nice. Overall, this fight is going super well. I've fought Gormagala a bit, and I have friends who like him a lot, so I fight him with them a lot of the time whenever they hop on. So I definitely have experience with this guy, but I usually don't fight him a whole lot on my own. So I'm surprised I'm doing as well as I am. This is kind of really good. Although his spamming of that Frenzy explosion is kind of annoying. That attack is super hard, in fact basically impossible to parry, so my only option is to dodge it. But it's got such a huge area of effect that I'm surprised I've pulled off the dodge every time so far. Because you'll notice when he spits out that explosion, it like spreads in every direction as more explosions. Each of those explosions count as a hit. So if I parry the initial one, I can parry it, but then the explosions that come after will immediately hit me. And depending on how hard my defense is, or how tough my defense is, compared to who I'm fighting, that parry may or may not really be worth it. If I'm fighting Shagru Magala, there's absolutely no reason to go for that parry. I'll just get killed immediately. That's really unlucky. And he's immediate camping me with that. That's awesome, dude. I didn't even know he could do that. What the fuck? He like 90 degree spun, comboed me into a different attack than what he was just doing. I've never once seen him do anything like that. Are you for real? He was doing like his double slamming attack, and I thought I could heal while he was finishing off the second slam. I didn't think he could just spin around 90 degrees with a third slam. He didn't do it there. I've never seen him do that before. Are you for real, game? Just coming up with shit on the spot? I can't parry that. If I do, the other Trojans will hit me like I just explained. And he wasn't targeting me, so that parry didn't work. It's taken us a while to get him out of Frenzy mode. Well, I'm sure this is kind of a normal time, but I'm used to fighting him with my main profile, which is kind of crazy overpowered. So doing enough damage to knock him out of Frenzy mode fast is just kind of natural. Fighting him on level is something I haven't done in a long time, and that deflect hard fucked me. I tried so hard to get the critical juncture off, but the animation took too damn long. Holy shit, that deflect screwed me. And I thought he was attacking me, but he was just moving. Nice, waste of a critical juncture. We had such a clean run going, and now the game is hitting me with as much crazy, wild, and wacky, stupid bullshit as it can. Oh, sorry. Here's this random attack that he comboed with a different attack, even though you've never seen him do that before. Oh, sorry. You just got deflected. Time to get fucked. Oh, sorry, you thought you could critical juncture? Well, this isn't an attack. This is just me kind of moving towards you aggressively. Fuck off. Hopefully we can get our good momentum back, because we were doing so good at the start of this fight, until the game decided that I was doing too good and it needed to start just inventing bullshit rules to fuck me. He's been in... Alright, there we go. I was about to say, he's been in fucking frenzy mode for a long time. And he's... Well, we got him out of frenzy mode, so that's fine. Definitely not going as good as Glavenus. Glavenus would be dead by now. Still going pretty damn good, though. Like, the start of this fight, the first couple of minutes went way better than I expected. And then the frenzy mode at the end there, when all of a sudden, wacky, stupid for no fucking reason. Alright, cool. Can you please stop slightly avoiding what I'm doing in various ways? That would be real appreciated. Back in Valor. Nice parry. I don't know. I didn't even fully expect that to work, but I'm surprised it did. Pleasantly surprised. Okay. If it worked the first time, why didn't it work that time? Alright, man. So, what is going on? That is an attack that counts as an attack. Otherwise, I couldn't have sheathed it. So why couldn't I parry it those 2 times? That's exactly... What the... Okay. I sheathed it once. I parried it once. Then I successfully parried it twice, but the game didn't count it both times. And then I sheathed it again. So which is it, game? Is it an attack or is it not? What the fuck are you doing? You can't have it both ways. Either that counts as a hit that I can or parry or get hit by, or it just doesn't. Why are you pretending like it's both whenever you want it to be? Got the Schrodinger's Gore Magala up on this MF, I suppose. It's alright, because we still killed him. We actually got a pretty solid amount of parries on him. I'm pretty impressed and pretty happy with how I performed on that fight overall. That end of the frenzy mode was super dumb. Like, just complete RNG bullshit. But overall, could have been way worse. Pretty good fight. His armor and his weapons look pretty cool as well. We will not be making any of his weapons though, probably throughout the whole run. His weapons are very niche and not really useful. Either that or I'm thinking of Chaos Gore Magala, but I'm pretty sure it applies to both. Where if you make a Gore Magala weapon, it has a natural, super low affinity to it, which basically means you have a chance to do negative critical hit. Because affinity in this game is critical chance. So if you have a 100% affinity, you will be landing a critical hit 100% of the time. That is how you can simplify it down. So if you have negative affinity, it works inverse. If you have a negative affinity, then that percent of the time, you will be landing less damage than your base. You'll basically be doing like an uncritical hit. So the Gore Magala weapons have a natural negative affinity to them, and the negative affinity is actually pretty substantial, which makes it overall pretty damn bad, unless you have a bunch of skills to help negate the affinity and even it out. Why it's like still a weapon and why it still could be useful is that it has a special ability where if you get affected by frenzy, that natural negative affinity actually transforms into a positive affinity. So when you're using a Gore Magala weapon on Gore Magala and you get affected by frenzy, that's where it really shines. So unless you're fighting Gore Magala or Shagru Magala or Chaos Gore Magala, all three who have the frenzy virus ability, if you're not fighting them with a Gore Magala weapon or Chaos Gore Magala weapon, then you won't be able to get that positive affinity, and you're at a kind of disadvantage with that weapon. Okay, no, Gormagala actually has 15% affinity. Then it doesn't apply to Gormagala, it applies to Chaos Gormagala. I know it applies to one of the two at least, I just thought it applied to both. So in that case, the Gormagala stuff might actually not be bad to make, but we won't be making Chaos Gormagala stuff. That still applies. That doesn't really concern us now though, because Chaos Gormagala, we don't unlock him for a minute. But I'm glad to see that Gormagala's stuff doesn't follow that rule. I thought it did, but I was wrong. So, I still don't think we will be making his stuff. But I mean, it's still cool to look at, and it's still an option. So we'll keep that in the back of our minds. His stuff over here is Stahlfakt. I don't know what that means because I don't speak German. I would like to, though. It's got some green, 120 damage, and 15% affinity. I assume that we'd be able to upgrade it one time at least immediately before hitting high rank. So this might not be a bad weapon. You know what, actually? Hold on. How much do we do? Oh, we actually do 120. That's the same... Oh, shit. No way. Hold on a second. Let me look this up. This actually is kind of better than I expected it to be. Alright, I'm going to look up Gormagala on MHGU. And I'm going to have to click the same link 3 times, just like I had to last episode. I don't know why you're fucking doing that. Then I go down to weapons, and I go to longsword, Stahlfakt. I'm gonna have to click this, so no, it just took a minute. Okay. At level 2, we need Gormagala shells and tails to level it up. I think both of which we can access at low rank. Yes. So that, like I thought, we could level this up one time in low rank. And that would give us 130 damage and a little bit more green sharpness than that. Plus the 15% affinity, which is just a raw 15% critical hit chance all the time. That's pretty good. We don't need that. Like, we can easily make it by with what we have right now. But I mean, this is pretty cool. This might be worth grinding, just for the sake of having it, because it's cool. Change up the weapon a little bit. I don't know if I want to spend the rest of this episode just grinding Gormagala, though, is the problem. Because we definitely could. Alright, I'm just putting some things away because I want to see what exactly we have. Do we have any... We got a feeler... Wait, plate. What? Alright. Shell, Ripclaw, Scale. No wings, I see, which is one of the things we need to level it up. You know what? Okay, let's fight him one more time just to see what we get. And if it isn't worth it, like if we're not getting what we need, then we'll leave it at that. Oh, he was the daily quest. I didn't even notice that. I guess that makes sense why we got so many items. Well, that sucks because that means we won't be getting as many anymore. Well, fuck it. We'll fight him one more time just to see what we get. I'm probably going to cut out almost the entirety of this. We'll fight him one more time, see what we get, and if it turns out that we are getting good shit from him, then we'll grind out for the rest of that weapon. If not, then we'll just move on, because it's not that important. It's a 10 damage increase, barely any sharpness, if any, and 15% affinity, which is definitely nice, but not necessary. I can easily make do with what we have. But you know what? I mean, it's cool. That's the biggest thing here. That weapon's pretty damn cool. I'm recording a series. We've used the same weapon for a long-ass time. If I was playing, like, ideally, or how I normally would, I wouldn't bother. But, I mean, we're here for a good time. And a long time. We're actually here for both. So, we got time. We got time to spend grinding for useless shit. Not useless, but unnecessary. One of the problems I always struggle with on every monster I fight, Venus included, is trying to get into Valor mode as fast as possible. I've done it really fast before, but I don't consistently get into it really fast. So one thing I'm going to keep in mind as I'm playing these monsters... Okay, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck down, bro. Alright, fuck off. One of the things I'm going to try and keep in mind as I'm fighting these monsters is to try and play aggressively off the start. like purposely try to find a way to be more aggressive while being not any less safe, to try and get that Valor faster. Getting into Valor as fast as possible is a big key thing to improving on a lot of these monsters. And I can definitely do with that improvement on everybody I fight, but Venus included. There have been times that I can get into Valor almost immediately off of Venus. I think I did it at least once last episode, but that's not consistent. A lot of the time it depends on what the monster does. In a lot of cases they'll waste my time with stupid RNG bullshit, and I'll end up taking ages to get into Valor. We gotta do something about that. While it is the monster's fault that they're doing that, it's still my fault that I haven't learned how to deal with it. Because the game's gonna do it anyway. I complain about the game all the time, but at the end of the day, it is up to me and my skill and experience to learn how to deal with it. Because every monster does that kind of shit. Every monster has their stupid moments. Just how the game rolls. And as much as I cry and moan about it, it should be expected. It's not exactly a rare occurrence. It's on me to learn how to deal with it. So, I may complain about the game screwing me like that all the time, like I did last fight. But at the end of the day, it's on me to actually learn how to deal with it and get better. So I'm gonna try and learn how to, is what I'm trying to say. When the game hits me with stupid shit that keeps me from getting into Valor, I gotta learn how to get around that and get into Valor fast anyway. I can't just let the game stop me. I wasn't going to keep that in because I just finished talking and I don't want silent gameplay filling the whole fucking video. But I mean, that was, like, that, you gotta admit, that was pretty fucking good. That whole segment in his Frenzy mode was super good. You know how last fight I was talking about how, like, he's been in Frenzy mode for a really long time and I thought that was kind of strange? This might be why. Maybe he was in Frenzy mode for a long time, because I kind of just nuked him out of it. And we're still going! He is not having a good time this fight. Holy shit! Based on how much I've been talking and how much damage we're doing, I might end up keeping in almost the entirety of this fight. This dude is getting his health destroyed. Completely nuked. I'm trying to cut off his tail right now, but if he just keeps turning around, I'm not going to have much success with that. I just ran out of Valor, that's unlucky. Let's practice what I was just talking about before. I'm going to try and get really up in his face whenever I can and try and force this Valor. Okay. Pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty solid. That was pretty solid. I purposely really tried to get in his face, get up in his grill, and go after him to get that Valor up. I'm still trying to cut off his tail, but he's not making it damn easy. Alright. And he's limping. Yeah, I kind of figured he would be. Can we cut off his tail right now? No. That yellow sharpness is doing me no favors. Well, this fight is going swimmingly. Way better than last time. He got absolutely demolished in his Frenzy mode. I don't know what happened last time, but I guess this time he was just not feeling the same. He just wasn't feeling the same. Son of a bitch! I tried so hard to cut off that tail. I even, like, stopped fighting him entirely at points to hard target his tail. And it still didn't come off. How is that possible? He hit me with like 3 tail attacks in a row and I parried all 3. There's no way. Son of a bitch. Do we need tail for this this weapon? Yeah, we did. For the level up. Oh, fuck me. Well, maybe we're not gonna make the weapon anyway. We'll see how many resources we have here after this fight. Dude, I tried really hard to cut off that tail. How didn't it come off? I went too hard on him at the start. I should have targeted his tail way earlier. That sucks so bad. We would have been able to get like a free tail at least one, and we only need 2 for the level up, it looks like. So if we got 2 right now, that would be 1 resource entirely checked off the list. That really sucks. Damn it. Alright, how are we looking? Well, we need one more feeler, which is easily doable. Then we need 3 more wings, which... I mean, we only got 1 that fight, and that kind of sucks. I think we already have the shell that we need to level them up. If not, it would be pretty easy to get. Getting the tail, as long as we target the tail, that would only take like 1 or 2 fights. So the only thing we'd really be concerned about is that wing, because the other 3 resources are crazy easy to acquire. So, man, do we want to spend our time doing this? Yeah, you know, fuck it. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. Let's do it. This hopefully won't be as long of a grind as it was to fight, like, grinding Levinus all those times. And I don't want this to be the focal point of the episode, so I might cut out a lot more of this than I normally would. Might cut out, like, entire fights. My goal for this episode was to, like, progress through the star a little bit more, and I still want to do that. I don't want to be caught up only fighting Levinus, or not Levinus, Gormagala this whole fight. We already had 1 episode dedicated entirely to 1 monster. I don't want to do another one right after the other one. I want to actually make some progress and show you guys some variety. But I also don't want to only be using the same equipment the whole fucking series. We've used the Iron Longsword for so damn long. We've used this specific upgrade of Iron Longsword for so damn long. I think it's time that we change it up, just to show some improvement and just kind of spice up what we're doing. Instead of just bum rushing the missions, I do want to take it back and do some grinding. I just don't want to dedicate 1 episode to 1 monster, especially not 2 times in a row. So I'll probably cut out quite a bit of this. You've already seen 1 whole fight and probably almost a whole another fight. You get it. This won't be the last time we fight him anyway. You get it. We'll fight him again. Don't worry. If you're a Gormagala fan, you'll see more of him in the future. You won't be missing out if I cut all of this out. So with that being said, I will fight this guy as many times as I need to. If something super cool happens, I'll keep it in. But otherwise, it's time for the solo grind to kick in. Some off-camera farming, as it were. I'll see you guys on the other side. See you in a second. Good parry on my part. Oh, that was big. Oh, thank God, dude. I was like, oh man, I was starting to get really fucking frustrated. This guy's tail is so damn annoying to cut off. Wow. I sacrificed breaking the feelers for that. We're not going to get any feelers from this fight, because I've been just trying to take off his tail. This dude, like, almost all of his attacks are very front-focused. He only has 1 attack that he does with his tail that I can think of, and he hasn't done that a single time this fight. So I've just been trying my damnedest to reach his tail, and he just keeps turning around or just jumping away or whatever. I tried to focus his tail during Frenzy mode, which is the only time where his feelers come out, because outside of Frenzy mode, he has his wings down all the time like that, and his wings kind of help shield his tail so it's hard to hit. So I tried targeting his tail during Frenzy mode, where he has his wings up and it's vulnerable. But the game just wouldn't let me at it, because he just kept turning around. Or, coincidentally, I'd go down to yellow sharpness, and at the same time run out of valor. So it's just been a huge struggle to even hit his tail a single time. I unfortunately wasn't able to break his feelers, and since he's not going to go into Frenzy mode again while he's alive, that ship has sailed. We're not breaking his feelers this time. But if we can get a second tail from the rewards, the tail objective is marked off and we don't have to worry about it, then I could just go to work on him, break his feelers, and it's fine. So please, give me 1 more tail from the rewards. I really, really don't want to have to do that again. That was super painful. Thank you. Thank you for the immediate objective complete. Now please give me a tail. Just 1. We already got 1 from the carve. We only need 2. Please. Maybe I can get 1 from here. That would be nice. I don't need a Ripclaw. I appreciate it, though. I do need a wing, so thank you for that. I don't need a Ripclaw. Damn. Well, we at least got one tail and one wing, both of which we need. Here's hoping for a little bit more. Alright, it has been a few fights. I at least cut out 2, maybe even 3, I'm not sure. But we should have what we need now. Okay, we can make the 1. Let's equip it, under the assumption we can upgrade it. Yes, we can. Okay. Let's compare that to what we have. Okay, so that amount of green sharpness compared to that amount of green sharpness. That's very comparable. I think this one has slightly less green sharpness, but makes up for it with the 15% affinity plus 10 extra attack. So again, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't even bother making this. This is kind of like exactly the same in strength, just in a different way at the end of the day. Because sharpness is super valuable, so losing a little bit of it does hurt. But we kind of make that back with 10 more damage and 15% affinity. So normally I wouldn't even bother the grind, it's just not worth it. But I mean, hey, we're here for to have some fun. And there, I guess, is a little sneak peek at what Shagru Magala may or may not look like, because that is upgrading Gore Magala weapon to Shagru Magala weapon. So if you don't know what Shagru Magala looks like, then let that get your imagination flowing, I suppose. Alright, took a little break just now. Just took some time to edit what we already have. And I cut down about an hour worth of recording down to about half an hour. So I got us a little bit more time in this episode. Enough time that we can fight somebody new and keep in the whole fight, and that should put us between 40 to 50 minutes around that ballpark as per usual. So with that in mind, let's give it a go. Who do we want to fight? I don't know. Let's see. I definitely. I like all of these guys. Let's fight. Fuck. I don't know. This is tough. This is a tough one. I don't know. I'll leave it to you guys. I'm just kidding. You can't tell me. I'm just messing around. You can't tell me. I'm still in the middle of the video. Let's fight Brachydios. Actually, no. Let's not fight Brachydios, because me and him have history. So I want to save him for next episode when I get to talk about that history and enjoy it a little bit more. So instead, let's fight Seregios. I already ate. We'll fight Seregios. I very thoroughly enjoy Seregios. I think he's a super cool monster. He can be a bit frustrating, not because he is an annoying monster, but because he flies a lot. And I don't deal well with flying monsters, so it can be a little bit rough to fight him. However, he's still super cool, his moveset's still super unique, and he has a unique effect to him that not many other monsters have. In fact, I think out of all monsters we fought so far, there's only one other monster that has this effect. I'm referring to the bleed effect. He should be in this zone. Yep, there he is. This guy is super cool. He flies a lot, but he more so flies as an attack rather than a position. So what I mean by that is really the only time he flies is when he's doing a particular move. He doesn't just fly naturally and then from there do various attacks. Most of his flying is just isolated to certain attacks, which is nice. I prefer that to monsters that fly as a form. Like that right there. That wasn't him flying just to fly, that was a specific attack that puts him in the air. Most of his moves are like that. So, Seregios is super cool, and the reason why I keep saying that is because he's one of those monsters that is really fast, really ferocious, a lot like how Astalos made me feel when I first fought Astalos. He flies a lot, but he's very quick. He's very quick in the air and on his feet. He comes in for very precise, sharp jabs a lot of the time. That's kind of his fighting style, as you'll see. And he's incredibly sharp. That's why he does bleeding, because he's just insanely sharp. I think, like, all of his scales on him act basically as spikes, and he can shoot them out as projectiles. Kind of shit. I'm definitely struggling on this guy a little bit more than I struggled on Gormagala. Oh man, what am I doing? And I'm stunned, okay? Awesome. If that had happened at any worse period of time... Alright, you motherfucker. If that had happened at any worse period of time, that stun would have hard pissed me off, but... it didn't, so I'm not gonna cry about it this time. This time. I am definitely getting my ass kicked a little bit harder than I would have wanted. But that's alright. We just got into Valor mode, definitely took us a while. I'm not as used to this guy's moveset as Gormagala, and he also flies more than Gormagala with his attacks, so it's harder to hit him in general as a Blade Master. So this is definitely a bigger struggle. But you know what, now that I think about it, that makes perfect sense. Because if you remember last episode, I referred to Gormagala as being a high-medium monster. Seregios is a high monster. Between the two, I would expect Gormagala to be 5-star, whereas Seregios, it makes sense why he's 6-star. So I'd definitely say Seregios is objectively harder than Gormagala. I know they're grouped together in the same star, but they won't be later in the game. In high rank, I'm pretty sure, and G rank definitely. Seregios is grouped in at higher stars than Gormagala is. Seregios will be max star, whereas Gormagala will be 1 lower. So it makes perfect sense why this guy's beating our ass a little bit harder. He is quite genuinely just more difficult. He's tougher, stronger, faster. Faster for sure. He may not have Frenzy Virus, but he does have bleeding. I can't see anything. This game was the first time I fought Seregios, so I don't have any like cool, fond memories to reminisce about, as in terms of like nostalgia. But there is one memory regarding this guy that I distinctly remember, and it was of him kind of kicking my ass. I remember playing this game at like 2 in the morning one day, lying on an uncomfortable bed. And the reason it was uncomfortable because of how I was laying down to play this game. I'm not sure how that pertains to the story, but I thought I'd mention it. But I just remember lying there at 2 a.m. And I was in G rank by this time. Oh, motherfucker! I was in G rank by this time. I was at the end of G rank, so the final G rank star. I think I just recently entered the final G rank star. One of the missions was Seregios, and I remember fighting him solo. I got Feline Insurance, which is a food skill that gives you an extra life. And I remember fighting him for like, I think it took like 40 to 45 fucking minutes, and I used 3 of my 4 lives, so I would have failed without insurance. And I just barely squeaked out the win at the end. That whole fight was a gigantic struggle. That, along with the Tigrex fight from G-Rank, were both really big wake-up calls for me at the time that made me realize I need to do something about this. I need to get better at the game. And I really started to buckle down, learn, and master my weapon. Beating Tigrex at that rank was like the main wall, but getting my ass kicked by Seregios a little bit beforehand, because I think I fought Seregios first, served as like an added reminder that like, yep, I can't go like this forever. I just barely managed to squeak the win against Seregios, and I can't win at all against Tigrex. I need to do something about this. Something needs to change. And I worked hard to get better at the game. I haven't fought Seregios in a long time, let alone that G-Rang mission. It's kind of traumatized me. I haven't done it since. But that Tigrex mission, which walled me harder, I have done that since, and it really serves as a really good reminder and landmark to prove how far I've come. That mission that used to hard wall me, and I couldn't get past it no matter how hard I tried, Now I just return to it every now and again to beat it pretty damn easily. I still have a ways to go before I feel like I've mastered Tigrex, but the fact that I'm able to do that now feels good. And you'll see me do that again, hopefully, in this series. And maybe I may or not get walled on it again. I don't know. G rank is quite a ways away, though, so that's still quite a ways out. Tigrex, however, that fight itself isn't a whole ways out. We'll probably do that next episode as well, because we have him unlocked. Not the G rank one that walled me like I was just talking about, but just Tigrex in general, so you can see what monster I'm referring to. Overall, so far, in accordance to what's going on right now in this fight, I'd say we're not doing too bad. Off to a bad start, but I'm remembering how to fight him and I'm adapting to him. Starting to get used to it a little bit more. That's how it goes for a lot of monsters, for me, really. If I'm fighting a monster I haven't fought in a while, a lot of the time the fight will start real bad, and as it progresses, the more we go into the fight, the better I start to play. As I adapt to him more, remember more things about him, and just start to warm up to him. So we started like shit, but at least now we're hitting him. This will be a monster that I really want to learn how to fight, because as you can probably tell, his moveset is pretty tricky, and he is pretty hard to parry. He's similar to Mizutsune in the sense that his body contorts real weirdly when he attacks, and it's kind of hard to tell what he's doing as a result. But he's not as extreme as Mizutsune is. He's at least like, you can still get it somewhat, it's just not exactly obvious. His biggest thing is that he's super fucking fast. He's super fast and has very quick attacks. Like, not only is his movement fast, but he'll do an attack where he's starting from point A, and you can see him charge up for the attack, and then he lunges from point A to point B, and it takes like a microsecond, because the lunge itself was just crazy fucking quick. That's his biggest challenge. Just getting used to his kind of precise speed. I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe what I mean, but I hope you get what I'm talking about. Because I've fought monsters who are consistently and in general faster than Seregios is. But the difference is that they're that fast all the time. Whereas Seregios kind of is like a viper, where he'll be sitting in a position for a period of time, but then will all of a sudden lunge forward super quick and move from point A to point B lightning fast, like that. That is an exact example of what I'm talking about. So if I can get used to that, which it actually looks like I am, then learning his moveset and learning to parry him will actually be really rewarding and really cool. That right there was a stupid attack. The way that my camera was angled, because I was trying to follow him as he was flying around, made it that I couldn't even fucking tell that he was, like, getting ready for that claw attack. It all just blended in. Juke them out. What the hell? Okay, alright, well, that's a unique way to end the fight, I suppose. Aerial attack, clipping his feet. Overall, not a bad fight. And towards the end there, we actually started getting used to him and parrying him pretty good. Hopefully we can keep that up when we get to G rank and land more than one parry on him. Because God knows I didn't when I fought him before. If I parried him at all during that G rank fight, it was absolutely one time and it was absolutely a coincidence. But here's hoping we can do it on purpose this time around when we get to it. That's quite a ways away though. For now, we'll just have to satiate ourselves with the low rank version. I do want to take a look at his armor to see how much armor it gives, because, like I said, he's a higher tier monster compared to Gormagala, who isn't. So I wonder if that's reflected in low rank or not. It's definitely reflected in G rank, where Seregios is a final star monster, but Gormagala has unlocked the star before the final star. But it doesn't seem to be reflected so far in low rank, since they're both unlocked at the same time. I don't know, we'll take a look at their equipment and see. If his armor is noticeably higher in defense, then the game does recognize... Man, my voice is cracking a lot. The game does recognize that Seregios is stronger at this point in the game. And if not, then, according to the game in low rank, they're same in difficulty, or same in general, which I disagree with. And the game will also disagree with later on if it doesn't already. We'll see. Let's take a look. 24. Really? So according to low rank, Seregios and Gormagala are on the same level. That's wild. That is definitely wild. Because later in the game, they are not. Gormagala is noticeably, he's unlocked earlier and noticeably is killed easier. Very strange. I wouldn't have expected that. I thought Seregios would have had a higher defense. Well, I guess the game thinks that they're on the same level at this point. I guess that would also go for Tigrex. Or Tigrex, as some people call him. Technically, Tigrex is actually the way you're supposed to call him according to the devs, but bro, that's dumb. That's completely stupid. I'm not gonna get into that right now, because I'm confident I'm gonna get pretty heavily into it when we actually fight him. So just remember that. Tigrex is dumb. If you call it Tigrex, you're wrong. The devs are wrong. Let's go ahead and put these away. And let's actually, before we end the episode, I just want to take a quick minute to take a look at his weapon, because there was just something I wanted to talk about real quick about his weapon. Oh, look at that, blue sharpness. If we were to make his weapon, we'd actually have access to that. You know what? Hold on, let me look it up, because that might be worth it. I vaguely remember using this weapon, so I made it on my main profile at some point. I just don't know when. Conga Edge. Can we upgrade it at all when we pick it up? We need Seregios Sunderer and Keenbone. Monster Keenbone is gotten at... We will not be getting that until high rank. Technically we can, but yeah, no, we don't have that monster unlocked. I'm not even going to mention who that is, because I'd like to save him for later as well. But we don't have him unlocked, I'll just tell you that. And Seregios Sunderer we actually could get at low rank. Well, I guess that's off the table then. There's only one monster we can get Monster Keenbone from. And I don't even know how to unlock him. I didn't even know he could be unlocked in low rank. Looking at his missions, there is none on here that are low rank, so what the fuck are you talking about? How can we fight this guy in low rank? What? I have no idea how we'd fight this guy in low rank, but between episodes I'm going to look it up, and if it turns out that it's doable at this point in the game, I guess we'll go ahead and try to do it, because that would allow us to level this weapon up to level 2, which would give us more green sharpness than we have, a slight amount of blue sharpness. We'd lose 5% affinity, but still have a positive 10, which is still real good. And we'd have another, 20 damage on top of what we have right now? Like, all in all, this seems like a huge boost for us to start off high rank with. In fact, that would be the same amount of damage as the high rank Iron Katana upgrade that we've been thinking about getting, so we wouldn't even need that, because that weapon would be better. So if we can unlock it, then we probably should. I'm gonna look it up between episodes. I mean, to be fair, now that I'm really thinking about it, we might want to go for this anyway, because already, even at level 1, that's more green sharpness than we have, a slight amount of blue, and 10 more damage, right? 10 more damage, I'm pretty sure, because we have 130. Yeah. Like, overall, that just seems like the better weapon immediately, even without the level 2 upgrade. So, I'm not sure. The weapon we just got, and it's cool. We don't need this upgrade. Maybe we'll just hold on to what we have, I'm not sure. I'll think about it between episodes, depending on whether or not the level 2 is accessible, depending on whether or not I feel like we should go for this upgrade, depending on whether or not I feel like it at the time. We may or may not grind out Seregios a little bit next episode in order to get this weapon. It probably won't even be as hard of a grind to get this as it was to get the Gormagala one. I just don't know if it's worth the effort at all. Because I'd like to progress, but they keep hitting me with some super cool upgrades that I just don't want to turn down. I don't know. We'll think about it some more. The weapon we got works, so we may or may not keep it. We'll see. We'll see. We'll think about it. So anyway, guys, that'll do us for this episode, I believe. Overall, pretty damn successful. I'll think a little bit more between episodes and do some more research to figure out if we want to keep this Gormagala weapon, or if we do want to grind out the Seregios weapon. I forgot to mention the Seregios weapon ability that the whole reason I went over there, but I'll save that for next episode. I don't want to take any more time up in this episode. So as long as I remember, we'll talk about the special ability that Seregios weapons have next episode, and we may or may not grind out for the Seregios weapon. We'll see. But anyway, besides that, I'll leave this here. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this endeavor. I really appreciate you guys being here. I really appreciate you checking out these videos. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch these. I hope you're enjoying them as much as I am, because I definitely am enjoying them. So guys, thank you again so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. Take it easy, guys. Have a great rest of your day.